to Melissa on Air, broadcasting from the shadows of the mind. Step inside, if you dare. The veil is thin, and I'm your guide. Now let's begin, so tune on in. They say churches are holy places, sanctuaries, safe. But what happens when the walls of sanctuary begins to bend? When the silence gets too quiet and you feel like something unseen is watching you from just behind the curtain. Tonight I'm pulling back that curtain, not metaphorically, though perhaps a little. This is a story from my childhood, a moment that still haunts me, not because I saw a ghost, but because for a fleeting moment I wasn't sure I was even in this world anymore. Take a breath, light a candle if you must, and hold on tight, because this tale begins in a place where time doesn't quite work the way it should. I was about 6 years old, the age where you're too young to sit through a sermon, but old enough to feel when something's off. My parents brought me to church like every Sunday. The adults filled into pews, heads bowed in prayer. But my spirit, it wasn't in the mood for salvation that day. So I wandered. Past the sanctuary, past the Sunday school doors, I found myself standing in front of the youth room. It was empty. No chatter. No group leaders, no lesson boards on the walls, just stillness. I stepped inside. The room was bigger than I remembered, dim. There was a stage on the far side, tall, shadowy, framed by thick, heavy red curtains that looked like they hadn't been touched in years. Behind those curtains, I saw just the edge of a piano. And behind that, boxes, storage, forgotten things. And the air, it didn't feel like church air. It felt wrong, heavy, like walking into a room full of smoke. But there was no smoke. I felt it settle in my lungs, in my bones, like the room itself was breathing and I wasn't supposed to be there. Then, the shift. Something changed. It was like stepping into another world, just slightly to the left of this one. Color seemed duller, sounds more distant, and then footsteps. Slow, heavy. Not the kind of steps made by polished church shoes or soft slippers. These were boots. Masculine, purposeful, and getting closer. I wanted to move. I couldn't. Then, cold. The kind of cold that doesn't just touch your skin, it sinks in. And then, something touched my shoulder. I didn't scream. I didn't run. I just started crying, quietly, desperately, because some part of me knew whatever this was, it wasn't human, and I was alone. I don't know how long I stayed there, frozen, crying. Time lost its grip on me. It felt like only 15 minutes passed. But then I heard my name, my mother's voice calling through the door. She opened the door. Light from the hallway spilled in. The air changed. Just like that, I was back. She said church was over. An hour had passed. And yet, I swear to you, I had only just walked in. I didn't tell them what happened. Not then. But I knew something was in that room, watching, waiting. Something that didn't quite belong to this world. And maybe, for a moment, neither did I. Some people say churches are sacred, but what if sacred places are also thin places, where the veil between realms wears down from all the worship and wonder? I've lived a strange life. I've danced with trauma. I've flirted with madness. But that moment in that room, it didn't feel like imagination. It felt like a door opened. And I still wonder, what would have happened if I had stepped through that curtain? Thank you for listening and wandering with me. Next time we go even deeper into the shadows, the mind, and maybe a few things better left forgotten. This has been Melissa on Air, broadcasting from the shadows of the mind. Step inside if you dare. The veil is thin and I'm your guide. Now let's begin, so tune on in. Till next time, stay spooky. And with that, I end today's broadcast.